Welcome everybody. Back to my YouTube channel. I just want to introduce somebody today, Jacob Schultz, because I get so many questions regarding Amazon, FBA, and e-commerce. But unfortunately, I don't do e-commerce. I do the Facebook ads and all that stuff. So you guys like watching that. So I figured I'd bring Jake on. Little background on Jake. We're friends from, I don't know, like a month ago?
Right.
Yeah, just about a month ago, and I stumbled across Jake's Instagram, and I don't even want to tell you the number that I saw on his story. It just made me feel like a piece of shit. But Jake, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, so my name's Jake. I'm 21 years old. I live in Las Vegas, and basically I've been selling stuff online since I was about 14, but I didn't really pick it up until it was like actual business and full-time income until I started selling private label products on Amazon. So of October of last year, I ended up getting my first winning product. I was able to scale it from I made $1,000 the first month, $3,000 the second, $6,000 the third, and then on the fourth month I made 10 grand, and then I just kept scaling from there. And I was able to build a humongous business, and right now I have about 25 different private label products that are bringing me in a ton of revenue every single month.
Okay. Yeah, so my mind can't even grasp having 25 private label products because I have one and it brings me, I don't know, I want to say 3K a month in sales. So, if I had 25, I mean, I'd probably be on a yacht somewhere. But anyways, a lot of the questions that I get from my audience is what would you recommend for somebody getting started with private labeling? Like, what do they need right now? So if I had a friend that said, hey, I want to get into private labeling, what should I do first?
Well, I think the first thing is definitely learn. And also the hardest part is what I always say to everybody, all my students, all the people that ask me the question, is say 90% of the hard part is finding the product. So what you really need to learn is product research. You need to figure out items that are going to be selling like crazy, but not that much competition. And then you also need to figure out upcoming trends, identify trends before the trends. I'm going to be honest with you. For an example, fidget spinners, I was able to identify what a fidget spinner was. And I showed my friends at work because I was still working at the time. I said, guys, this is going to blow up. Watch. And they're, no, it's not. Nobody's going to be doing that. Yeah. And out of nowhere, it blows up. So identifying trends is very important. And just really getting to learn. And that's about it. That's the best way to get started, is just by learning.
Yeah. So you mentioned trends. How did you fucking come across a fidget spinner? How do you be at a flea market or?
No. One of the websites I use is a site called DHgate. And DHgate is just basically where you can buy products from China. There's a method of product research I use that I'm able to just click on new arrivals on DHgate. And when I clicked on new arrivals, I was like, oh, what is this thing? And I just basically cross-referenced it and kind of I looked at, nobody was really selling it. I think people were selling it on eBay. They were doing these 3D printed versions or handmade fidget spinners for $100. And I was like, okay, if there's a way to mass produce it, maybe it would blow up. So just by hitting new arrival on DHgate, I was able just to eyeball it, and I kind of went with it, and fortunately it worked out.
So is that if my friend was like, hey, I want to start, where do I start finding products? I mean, what exactly would you say? Where would they start looking for products? Would they start on DHgate? Would they start on Alibaba? Would they start on Facebook? Where have you found the most winning products?
So, I mean, honestly, it's all split amongst the board. There's a tool that everybody uses called Jungle Scout. That is definitely probably the most user-friendly and easiest and fastest way to find products. But there's other ways like spying on your competition, definitely cross-referencing DHgate and Amazon or DHgate and eBay, kind of just going one by one, trying to figure out what's selling and what's not. But I recommend for all starters, Jungle Scout is super, super, super helpful because you're able to search for products in that exact criteria of something that's selling a lot, but not that many sellers.
Okay, so you would say start with Jungle Scout, which is what I did. I mean, I think that's what most people do. Now, do you think that this is an interesting topic? Because I'm just literally looking down at the questions that I get. Do you think that Amazon FBA is ever going to be saturated?
So Amazon FBA, it's a marketplace, right? It's all about, especially now, private label is now getting to social media. It really wasn't a year or two ago. Now it's getting its exposure. I honestly don't think that it would be saturated. It would only get saturated on the fact that if a product gets saturated, but Amazon FBA overall, it's a world marketplace. You can't oversaturate a world marketplace, and there's always going to be people that are going to know more than the other person. So it's just basically having that competitive edge and knowing more than your competition.
Yeah, it's a good point, because a lot of people that fail with FBA, me being one. No, I'm just kidding. I just don't have time to do it. But
Right.
a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll complain that it's oversaturated. Yet most people don't even take action. So I can't imagine all the people that bought Jungle Scout, did the product research, and never took action. So what would you tell the viewers? Like, what can they do specifically, motivationally, to take action and buy a fucking product?
So, I mean, with me, like, I still get it sometimes. There's like a difference between like fear and then a difference between like, oh, I shouldn't get into this product. There's some products that I'll look into that I'm not really comfortable with, and I'll kind of like force myself to jump into it. But there's also like products that like I think all the numbers are good, but I'm just scared to make that first initial purchase. Like, you have to eliminate you just have to eliminate fear overall. You have to think like, what is the worst case scenario? The worst case scenario, 99% of the time, is you buy a ton of inventory, or you buy 50 units, you buy 100 units. If you send it out to Amazon, it doesn't sell. The worst case scenario is you get it back sent to you, you sell it on eBay or Craigslist, and you just either break even or you can even make a couple bucks. So people are super, super scared that they'll just lose money in a ton of time. But dude, if I didn't like take the jump, I mean, me learning myself, I lost 10 grand over a year of my time because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't do YouTube. I didn't learn from anybody, but I just kept taking the jump and testing. And if I didn't waste all that money, I would not be where I'm at today. And like I said, the worst case scenario is you breaking even, just reselling your products on a different platform. There's really not that much risk, and people need to eliminate that fear because people don't want to do new things.
Yeah, no, that you've answered that very well. I think the thing is like, eat shit and then try again.
That's it.
And that's with everything in life, like I've been skateboarding for 15 years. And I mean, you can watch videos all day, but until you actually do it, you're not gonna learn it, right? But in skating, I would fall, eat shit, break a leg. With Amazon, all you're gonna do is lose a little bit of money. If that, I bought my first product was fucking terrible. And I'm sure you've seen it. It's those yellow, like, those yellow, what the fuck are they called? They're like home tools, and it like measures a bunch of shit.
Angleizers. Oh my God.
Yeah, everybody bought those.
Oh my God. Because that's a whole thing too with like when private label came to social media, everybody was like, here's an example of a private label product. And everyone was like, okay, I'm going to buy it.
Yeah.
And it's funny you said that because I was teaching one of my friends, and he wasn't really a close friend, but I was teaching him a little bit of private label. And I told him to consult me before you do anything. Next day I go over to his house. He has 1,000 angleizers sitting in his back room. And I was just like, no,
dude.
I just saw this just empty money. I just saw all lost. I was so mad. But
yeah, no, I can get that. But yeah, I mean, and the worst thing that happened was I did break even. So everything was fine, because with Amazon, you can just advertise all the way to the top and get sales that way.
Yeah.
But my next question is, because honestly, this is kind of the point where I'm at. I want to get into some kind of e-commerce thing. What's your view on, I've heard multiple different things, but what's your view on Shopify versus Amazon?
So they're two different beasts. I have people ask me that fairly often. I believe that Shopify, there's a lot more to learn because with Shopify, you're building your own platform, right? With Amazon, you're leveraging their platform.
Right.
So it's definitely two different beasts. Of course, I always say there's 1,000,001 ways to make $1 million. So everything works, right? But it's just depending on your liking and what you want to do. I definitely believe Amazon. I feel like Amazon, it's way easier to learn. It's faster to learn, and it's faster to start like getting the grip of it. And there's not that much work involved because, like I said, you're leveraging an existing platform. So I'm actually starting with Shopify right now because I have more free time and I want to build that I want to build my own platform. Yeah. But with Amazon, it's just so much more simple. And I feel like it took me less to learn than what Shopify is currently.
Yeah, exactly. And I guess that's for everybody, watching this, is that with Shopify, you're relying your whole business on paid traffic, right? Or, paid advertising, stuff like that. Where with Amazon, you're taking advantage of Amazon's, 13 million customer visits a day, and it's all free. So you don't have to pay to have your product up there. You just pay when it ships or when it sells. So, great point. Now my question is, so like for somebody, would you recommend, Would you recommend somebody start out with, like, let's say, how much do you think somebody needs to start out with private labeling?
Realistically, the number I like to keep in my head is $500 to $2,000, and I'm going to explain why. Is because it depends on a lot of factors. I recommend starting as a personal account. You can register as an LLC, but I recommend starting as a personal. And usually the price, it really depends on either your product and the advertising. So the product, meaning what is your first test unit? How much is it going to cost? So it gets sent to you, your first 100 units, how much that's going to cost. And then advertising. So how much product do you need to give away, promote, get, discounted for reviews? Like, how much product do you need to move in order to get to the front page? So there's a lot of determining factors, but you're just going to need to like get a pen and paper and write it out for yourself. But 500 to 2,000 is definitely doable. I know my first product winner, which was in October, was around $400 for the first batch of units, and I spent about 100 in ads. And then, so that was $500, and I was able to generate about $2,000 in sales off of it. So $1,500 profit. And then I was able to just reinvest and scale it efficiently. But like I said, product and advertising, it all depends really.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Now, when you say winning product, you mean a product that sells a lot?
Correct. Yeah. Something that's making you profitable and just is selling consistently.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about what was the day where you decided to say, all right, I'm going to start with Amazon. And from that day till now, what was your biggest mistake you've made? And if you knew what you knew now, what would you go back and do differently?
Okay. You might have to re-ask me the second question, because when I first made the transition to Amazon, I was selling on eBay. I got my start from eBay, and I started selling the same products I was selling on eBay on Amazon. But I didn't know what I was doing on Amazon. I started hijacking listings, which, if you don't know what that is, it's just basically selling under someone else's listings, which you're not supposed to do.
Which is if you do that, you're such a dick. Don't do it.
Yeah, you're not allowed to do that at all. And Amazon hates you. Everybody hates you. You'll get death threats. Anyway, I did that. I didn't really get it. That was in 2015. I started picking it up again in like 2016. I learned about private label selling. And then I just kept spending money, kept testing products, and just kept doing it while I still kept doing eBay. But I was saying, okay, I got free time, so I'll just keep doing this Amazon thing. Yeah. And seeing what would happen. And what was the second question? What was the biggest mistake?
Well, you started Amazon when? Like 6 months ago?
Well, like I said, I started in like 2015. But when it started like taking off was in like October 2016. So like I kind of like went back into it 2016.
Got it. And the second question I had is, okay, so you said you started off in 2015. Now you started really taking it seriously in 2016.
Right.
So from 2016, what would you tell your 2015-year-old self what to do when you're starting off?
Honestly, I think it's just learn, because I'm very prideful. I'm very stubborn. And also take action, because I was going on YouTube, and there's so many different people teaching so many different things, and you can get a headache. And Gary Vee talks about like there's only so much that you can learn, and like once it's there, you just have to go and implement it and just start like taking action on it. And the best way to learn is from literally just doing it yourself. So my advice to my 2015-year-old self would literally just be like, just keep testing and just keep busting it out, because like after you absorb so much info, you just have to do it.
Yeah. Because then I think, right, you're right. And a lot of people do get stuck in that. They're watching videos after videos after videos after videos and buying all these courses, and they've never done shit. Yeah. So, stop being a little bitch and do it. It's the truth, because what happens is you just keep on doing the same old thing, and now all of a sudden it's 9 o'clock at night and you haven't done anything, and you have bills to pay, or you're trying to, pay for college, whatever it is. Now, if there's people here that have been following you, they know that you just bought a brand new GTR. How much of that income is because of Amazon?
All of it. I mean, I just posted a picture on my picture on a picture on Instagram about my GTR. I put like brown packages, and I said, thanks to these brown boxes, I got this GTR. But
I saw that.
Amazon is, dude, it's my full-time income. And literally like, my profits, that GTR probably took me about like 2.5 months of Amazon profits to buy.
Yeah.
So, dude, it's so crazy. And especially if I think of like products I used to sell, like fidget spinners, I'll like relate, like, because of fidget spinners, I was able to get a GTR.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, other products, I got to get that. It's really silly to think about, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
fun.
it's the truth though, you know, and it's like those YouTube thumbnails. Like I love when people do like the Ferrari and then like, you know, like this, and they're like, well, you know, Bitcoin allowed me to pay for this. Most of the time they're not fucking lying, which is just
No.
like, it's crazy to think about. Like, you know, myself, I'm not making anywhere near $30,000 a month. But my business is a little different. It takes a way longer time. But you know, 2 years ago, if you were to look at yourself, Jake, and you would be like, you know, do I think I'm going to have a GTR in 2 years and making $30,000 a month? I just, you know, were you expecting this all to just happen so fast?
No. Like I said, dude, on my first like product winter, when I woke up in the morning and checked my Amazon sales, and I even saw that I had like, I think it was like 15 units I sold overnight. And it was like, I was like, oh my God. And I was profiting about $5 a unit. So I made $100 when I slept. I was like, oh my God, like is this real?
Yeah.
And then, and then the days when it started, like $1,000 days I started having, it's a surreal feeling. Like everything, it's like, okay, it's like, oh shit, this actually works. Like that's when the moment hit me where I'm like, okay, so, you know, this stuff and people talking it and people preaching it and saying that it's possible, like they're not lying. It's really just about, once it happened, I'm like, it's time for the ride now. Like I'm just getting started.
Yeah, just fucking go ham. And I just want to show everyone, you know, Jake's talking about these $1,000 days. If I might update my app, I don't know if you can see that. That's $69 right there. That's fucking Wendy's right there.
Dude, that's still profit.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's a good amount of profit. And I actually just sent out like 8 boxes to the warehouse. So I should be good.
Are they all private label?
Yeah, they're all private label.
Awesome.
All private label. So I have to bring this up. I saw on your YouTube channel you're doing some ridiculously cool fucking thing where you're actually bringing a store from $0 to $1,000 a month, right? Or is it a day?
Well, I'm shooting for a day, just $1,000 a day in sales. But if we can't achieve that, then it's definitely going to be fairly close. But I have a friend of mine. We use his Amazon account, and we're basically just launching a private label product, and we're going to take it as far as we can and launch it to the front page as soon as possible. So I'm just documenting that entire journey and showing you literally step by step exactly what it takes to do product research, to source, to ship it out, to create your listing and advertising.
And this is free?
Yeah, it's so free. It's free 99.
Free 99. Okay. So you're literally over the shoulder showing somebody how they can take a product, bring it on Amazon, get a ton of fucking sales, and then get it to rank on the first page and make, you know, upwards to $1,000 a day.
Correct. Yep, it's self-explanatory, and it's just straight to the point. There's a lot of videos out there that when I first started learning Amazon, every topic would be an hour long, and this is literally just A through Z, straight to the point on every video.
Okay. So, all right, that's pretty fucking awesome. So if anybody's watching this and wants to seriously look at somebody over the shoulder, bring a store to whatever $10 million a day, all you e-commerce dudes, I'll put these crazy numbers towards my head. You know, check out Jake's channel. And Jake, I don't know if there's anything else, any other little tips that you want to give out, because Amazon's becoming such a large thing and there's so many different ways to approach it. You actually have a very unique one of where you mentioned you take advantage of trends. And, you know, I've taken Tanner J. Fox's course. I've seen a lot of your stuff. And not a lot of, you know, I don't know why, but not a lot of people talk about that, taking advantage of trends. So if there's any like tips that you have right now to show the viewers, go right ahead. The floor is yours.
So identifying trends, there's a lot of like analytics and tools to like figure out. A lot of these things are like, so like, for example, for the fidget spinners, I'll let you know that a trend, I don't even know why I'm giving this away to you guys, but just, you're only going to hear it here. A really big trend that basically, like, when there's one huge product, you can kind of like think of like subcategories or things that are related to that product, and that's going to be another new trend. So like the like sensory and like autism trend right now is absolutely huge, because when fidget spinners came out, it was like for ADHD, autism, stress relief. But right now, another trend that's coming up that's absolutely huge is going to be like this sensory, like autism niche. So if you could find products that cater to those kids with those needs, you will absolutely make an absolute killing. So it's really about leveraging something that went big and then trying to find the sub niche or a subcategory or something relevant to it. Because like once something's a trend, like it dies, but something else is like rebirthed with it. For example, like the fidget spinners. I think what reason why I got caught into that too is because the fidget cube came out. The fidget cube was on Kickstarter, and not a lot of people know about the fidget cube. But as soon as fidget spinners launched, it literally like leveraged all the hype about a fidget cube, and this was something way cooler and like for everybody. So it's just analyzing something that's about to die and waiting for something that's about to get rebirthed.
Okay, so just like, kind of like waiting it out and seeing the trends and
it's literally like just thinking and analyzing and trying to do your own independent research of kind of like, okay, so what could be next? Like what's something similar? So just kind of like start searching for like the similar products or kind of like the similar name to it, like fidget something, or like what the product is used for, like who the audience is, and try to figure out what else that audience would also buy.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're just piggybacking off of traffic.
That's it. And you just keep riding the wave. It's literally a wave and you just keep riding it.
Awesome. Now, where do you see your Amazon store in the next a year, I'll say? 1 year.
In the next year?
Yeah.
I'm hoping, well, currently, like I said, I'm about like 25. I see myself within a year. I want to shoot for 100 products in a year. So if I can get 100 total, that would be awesome. Other than that, I really want to hit 1 million a month in sales. I'm currently doing like 100 to 200,000 a month in sales. I really want to hit that 1 million mark in sales. And if not, it's totally fine. But I know that it's such an achievable goal, especially now with knowing that all that I've learned. Like I remember when I used to do product research, I would spend hours analyzing it and hours on Jungle Scout. But now when I go on Jungle Scout, like I'll scroll my wheel so fast, look at something, open a new link, and because I know what to look for. I know different things that are going to sell and like different things that are like totally not worth getting into just by eyeballing it and just by doing this for so long. So 100 products, $1 million in sales a month is going to be my goal for 2018. Yeah.
Now I've heard that like you mentioned like, you know what to look for. What do you mean by that?
So what I've learned and what works really well are lightweight products and kind of like weird items. So things that kind of give you that like double take, like you're like, okay, because those are usually trendy and people will want to buy them. And basically you're going to be doing private labels. So you want to find like a generic product and like something you could just slap your logo on and sell it as your own. So lightweight and weird sells the absolute best.
Okay. Yeah, and I've heard that, and it makes sense because the more lightweight it is, the less it is to ship, and the more somebody like if you're buying a fucking if you're buying like a table online, you're probably not just going to click add to cart and buy. But if you're buying like a fidget spinner or I don't know, let's say something stupid like award ribbons or something like that, you're like fuck it, whatever, it's $14.99, you're just going to buy it.
Right.
So that's a good point. But do you see any big changes coming to Amazon FBA within the next year that people should be worried about?
Honestly, Amazon has been changing like nonstop. To be worried about it, no, because if you want to start selling on Amazon, you just do it and you start adapting. I remember when I started getting like head into it, the whole like ranking system to rank your products was to give it away for a discount and then get a review. The day it was in October, and that's when my first product winner was. The day that I started selling in October, the day that my product went live, Amazon updated their TOS and said that that's no longer allowed. You can't do discounts in exchange for reviews. And I started panicking. Oh my God, I don't know what I'm going to do. And sure enough, I still started making. There's going to be changes. Are they going to be big? I don't know. But there's always going to be money to be made. And you just have to adapt to Amazon. Amazon's a big guy. You can't just complain and whine, which people are doing, like, oh, I can't sell during Christmas now or blah, blah, blah. Like, it's who cares? You adapt and you build and you grow over it so that you still make money because the money's still there. If the policies change, it's whatever. You grow out of it, you jump over it, and you start making more money.
Yeah, great answer. Yeah, I completely agree with that. Facebook tomorrow could say, hey, we're not going to allow small businesses to advertise anymore, just corporations. What happens to the Shopify people? What happens to me? What happens to this? All of a sudden we lose a lot of money, but there are ways around it.
Right.
But Jake, I just wanted to thank you for coming on today. I know it was a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. And if you guys want, I'm going to leave Jake's YouTube link down below. Watch his $1,000 a day challenge. I don't know what you call it, but he's going to bring a store to $1,000 a day, which is fucking insane. And I'm going to make sure to be watching. I told all my friends about it. And then are you doing like a giveaway type of thing or?
Yeah, so at the end of the day 1 through 5, I'm actually someone that subscribes to the channel. I will be giving away the $1,000 a day product. Now, the thing is too, like if I don't achieve it through this challenge, I will literally give someone my personal product that I'm using from my personal store that's bringing in $1,000 a day. So automatically, it's like boom, free money right there. $1,000 a day product. It's just like slapped in your face. So at the end of it, I would just make a video, do an entire giveaway, and I'm really excited just to like just throw that at someone, because if I got hit with $1,000 a day product just by a private label seller, I'd be like, thanks, dude. Like,
Yeah,
okay.
right. I'd be fucking Merry Christmas. Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. All right, yeah, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. So, yeah, like guys, like I said, I'm gonna leave the link down below. You'll be able to check out that $1,000 challenge. It's getting a lot of hits right now. And I mean, if you're new to Amazon, or even if you know a lot about Amazon, because Jake, I will say you're probably one of the most knowledgeable people I know on Amazon. You know, check out Jake's channel. All right, guys. Peace.